I will always remember the day you kissed my lips, light as a feather. And it went just like this. No, it's never been better than the summer of 2002. We were only 11, but acting like grown-ups, like we are in the present. Drinking from plastic cups, singing love is forever and never. Well, I guess that was true. Dancing on a hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this, say, oops, I got 99 problems singing bye, bye, bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me on the days when we were young, singing off the top of both our lungs. Now we're under the covers. Fast forward to 18, we are more than lovers. Yeah, we are all we need when we're holding each other. I'm taken back to 2002. Yeah, dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this, say, oops, I got singing bye, bye, bye.
Hold up. Hey everyone, how are we? What's up, what's up, what's up? We'll play some Sherlock again because I can. And I'm only two cases left. There's this case and the next one. So I'm hoping I'll at least get one of them freaking right. Because so far I'm 0 for 4. So, and I was so close for the last one. Not the last one, the one before. The Chilean minor one. I was actually really close. I picked the wrong, like, wait, they died. So annoying. I legit almost had it. It was so annoying. Hey! That was, let me have a look. Hey Sam, how you doing? Come on, Spotify, load up. Load up. That is called 2002 by Anne Marie.
Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me on the days when we were young, singing at the top of both our lungs on the day we fell in love. On the day we
So
fell.
yeah, that's 2002 by Anne Marie. It's on my playlist, thought I'd play it. Why not? Hey Sam, I'm doing alright. I'm doing alright. Could you go Cosmos? Oh, yeah, how's the island going? I'm sorry about yesterday. I was at work. I was trying to find games on the Switch store for me and my boss to play because we were so bored. Like, we were deathly bored. So I hardwired my phone to my Switch to get the internet. So I was technically playing Animal Crossings, but, you know.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees
Nice.
come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They are domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
If you're all still on one letter, I'll come around
but
tonight.
nothing as thrilling as this experiment.
Because I haven't got stuff
theft of
to do this
plants
afternoon, so we
at
can
the
play around if you
Royal
want.
Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a
That'll just,
minister
like,
who's an old friend of mine.
if you have a Twitter account, just tweet them at
Enjoy
me.
it, if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours.
Don't stress. Like, literally, we were just doing fuck all. We sat there for like an hour on our phones doing nothing because no one's in the store.
For the great Sherlock Holmes.
But then we got robbed, and it was a very weird story. If you will, if happy to
Come on.
sit here and let me
Admit
tell
that
you.
you're planning to
Yesterday was a
spoil your
weird day.
bees with some rare pollens.
Oh.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
I never get. Phrasing. Just kidding. Okay. Oh. What's happened? Uh-oh. Oh, sorry. Oh, come on. Malfunction? Alright. So yeah, we had two people walk in the store around 1 o'clock-ish, grabbed a hoodie and a bag, and just walked out the front of the door. You know, like full and bolted out the front door. I was just like, what's going on? Both my coworker and I raced down to the front door to see what was going on. And lo and behold, an undercover detectives happened to be driving past at the same time, saw us panicking out the front door, did a U-turn in their car, and got the thieves. Like 5 seconds up the road. Wouldn't, like, just instant karma. It was so good. It's just, I could not have been any better. The fact that we got robbed, we know we got robbed, we saw them leaving with products in their hands. And the fact a cop was just sitting there. And it turned out, after all that, they were searching for an armed robber. So it was just like,
Well,
fuck.
here we are at the Royal Botanic
Oh,
Gardens.
so good. Like,
There's
I
no
just,
doubt that this place is beautiful. But
I was really
really
upset we got
intent on
got
investigating
stolen. Stuff got stolen. I was like, God damn it!
Yes, of
all this
course.
pandemic going on, people are still being little shits, stealing shit and carrying on. But then to have the cops catch him instantly, ugh, so good.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good
Okay.
day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my
Oh
friend
yeah,
and
absolute
colleague,
destiny. Couldn't
Dr.
even
Watson.
believe it.
We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
What plans were stolen?
They were rare and exceptional.
You know, I'll message you on Discord when I'm
presented them at our
finished
last
here and
exhibition.
I'm
We
chilling
haven't
out.
removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
What a prick to put
Only
Albert.
myself.
Albert's just
But
working.
occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Miss White did it with the crowbar in the library. That how this game works, right? No?
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
Oh,
We're very sorry. We were not aware.
buddy, you poor
Two of
thing.
you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear.
You
Our
poor
condolences.
thing.
We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the
Aw.
intrusion.
You say that
Give
he
him a
died
hug,
here,
dude,
in
Sherlock.
the large glass house.
Holmes,
Yes, just here, near the door to the Colonial Collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly.
No,
was terrible.
buddy.
Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here.
Buddy.
If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
Poor mate. Like, what do you do?
do not touch.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
It's a balloon stay intact, even though they're fucking see-through.
Do not touch.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
Copy of that, please. Oh,
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead. Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground.
so a flower pot was used to knock his head
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
in. That I was holding it, had his heart attack and fell down.
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced.
Because it was covered with blood, my dude.
The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed.
Interesting. But what of this?
The esconson was breached near the handle.
Wisconsin. What's an ensconson?
The door was forced from the inside
What
of the
a weird-
Colonial
oh.
Collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection room.
I don't know what this
Very
is.
strange. The smell is strong. It is a detergent. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow.
Yes, we did.
A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture.
I actually made the wrong choice, which is annoying. But basically what happened was the Mexican cartel took ownership of the train and forced the Chileanese people to stay on the train. Then launched the train into the lake, drowning the Chileanese that were on the train and killing them. Thus taking responsibility for the death on the train. Yeah. It's kind of wild, that storyline.
These windows were perfectly cleaned. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
Hello? Sorry.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building. These plants come from all the territories of the British Empire. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
No.
According to
What? Sorry about the journey.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Yes, you may. What is this? Nothing. Oh, you're up there. Hello, sir.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only. For I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Bum ba bum. Bum ba bum bum. Well, yeah, his dad died, you fucking knob. The poor guy's father
Thank you, young
died.
man. We shall see you again soon. Palm House.
Palm house in the middle of our street. Palm house. Curiouser and curiouser. Let us away this way. Ah, I found him. No. In Gads.
Dry tropics.
Ooh. Let us away. Oh, lordy. This is where you hide a body. You just shove it behind some cactus. Bloody hell. Look at it all. Interesting. This game is so pretty though. For a game that came out 5 years ago,
Dry tropics.
this is very pretty. Okay. What's that here?
There is a smell of burning.
Oh shit. Fire. Oh, the old door handle.
Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. A broom handle was half burned. The remains of a picture frame.
Gas mask? What the
A
fuck?
protective mask.
The hell? Who the fuck has a gas mask?
Someone set it alight, but it did not burn.
I am more confused than ever. Ah, the broken pot! Yay! Where's the blood on it or something?
The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Interesting. You lying, cheating bastards. Oh, I missed something in the fireplace. What did I miss? What did I miss?
The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned.
Okay. But why is there a bonfire out here with no one watching over it? You'd think you'd have somebody looking at it. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so I'm there. Ventilation system, yeah. Seed house. Nursery. Yeah, we have to go through a few things. Because the ventilation system is one of them. It is very intriguing to start with.
System. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
But it's not running.
A ventilation.
Lots of pots. Water. It's a very interesting game for, like, complex mind games. But, like, I'm struggling because, like, I've played 4 cases out of the 6 that are in this game. I've already spent, like, over 5 hours playing this game. Alright? Like, these cases are difficult, and I still can't get them right. And I love puzzles, so it's really hard.
Locked.
Locked. Seed house. It's the seediest
Seed
of houses. Seed house. Hey, Watson. Hello. Knock knock. Sherlock.
Locked.
Yo, my brother. What up?
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director
He's
of Kew
done
Gardens.
skis.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack
Oh.
was quite unexpected.
Just ripped my jeans a little bit. That's awkward. The knee part of it, anything else?
Would you unlock the doors for us?
Do you
Nope.
expect to find the stolen plants there? I am sorry, but those rooms are private.
What a dick. You're guilty as fuck. Douchebag face. Dirty collar. Unmarried. Garden sands.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Oh, fish, nice. Are you or it's an oarfish? Are you sure? I don't know. That was particularly bad fun. Oh, footprints, I missed that.
The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
Because he was hit out there, staggered here, grabbed a pot plant, dropped it and smashed, and died. For he was not.
This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it.
Ooh.
Blood. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound.
Yes,
All the
pass,
clues around
pass.
here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
Imagination. There you go. See? No. Breaks the door, drops the pot on the floor. Yeah. Barricades in to get in, grab the pot and falls on the floor.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
Murder of the highest order. Ow. That's all Ham said. I don't know why.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
If you're squeamish at all during this stream, please look away now. I'm going to do an autopsy on a body. So you know, if you're squeamish, doing it now.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
It is fake. It is all.
There are no suspicious marks upon the
So don't
chest.
stress.
Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The
Dog.
vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. No redness, stings, or bruises. Nothing suspicious here. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Look away now if you're squeamish. I was going to shout or not, but look away. Oh, how fun! Oh my god.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs.
Liver's fine.
The lungs are congested and edematous.
What does that mean? Oh, what is that?
The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs.
But why is it green?
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
So it can't have been a heart attack,
Suspicions have
though.
been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Dun, dun,
Yes,
dun.
it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need
Somebody's
to locate
live,
that
Holmes,
deadly
come
plant.
on.
Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No. A few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs.
Yeah.
Yes, Watson.
yeah.
It is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
Sherlock's a weird boy, isn't he? I love him, but he's weird. He's a weird boy. Alrighty. to Kew Gardens again, shall we? Alrighty. You, keys, now. You shifty bastard. You shifty bastard.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, oh, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure then?
No.
But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
You're hiding shit, you prick.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better.
Go the good of your
You see, every
dick.
Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great
Well done,
pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
God damn it.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he, why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Ooh, okay. Got a bit of a
Tell me,
love
Mr.
triangle
Hamish,
thing going on.
do you grow the more deadly variety of plant
What's
here?
the matter? You've
You
had
mean
food.
insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
You sit here, you carry on, I have to throw you off anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Come on. Come on. There you go. There you go. See? There's nothing up here. You silly pup. There's nothing up here. Hey, buddy. I told you, didn't I? There's nothing up here.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
I'm not surprised.
I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens. And I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Oh, buddy, you poor thing.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Well, I have to tell you that
buddy.
Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
No, of course he
I
doesn't.
suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. That my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Nice.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure
Lucky
you
boy.
understand.
No. No, look at me.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Dun, 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 dun.
Locked.
That's that. I opened it. Haha. I take a shoe off at the same time. This is hard now. Whoopsie.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Coin, hat, light, paper, okay. Something else on here. There you go. Dear Mrs. Margaret, following our last question, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. Oh. Okay. Okay.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
Reynold Hamish.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. 2-2. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is annoying. Man. Damn it! Nah. Dog, you just hurting me. I'm sorry, that's all legs. You're hurting me. Go that way. Yay! Way too long. Divine Syndicate. If you speak, not how to press play them well. But I must throw respect to this. Not. Oh, interesting. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Mr. Dunn, we ask you for the last time for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them imprisoned. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions is wholly false. You are hiding behind lies. The lie we need not elaborate. Reported in the press as a case of June 14th, 1988. When you've done it quite properly, please trust you. Oh, damn, okay.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
This one. Debt of Miss Margaret White to Mr. Rental of suites of rooms at Oxford Street. National Scholarship at University. Credits opened at Hamilton. House Taylor and the Bars Story. Damn. Okay. Well, damn. Let's go see this Miss White, shall we?
This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Damn, Watson. The shade. Oh.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Toby! Fetch Toby! Toby, my boy. Jesus.
Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here.
Well, one of the things is in the fireplace. Yeah, dig. Did I miss something?
It appears such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals.
Let's go over here. Hello.
The seeds of plant species are stored here.
Trying to find the seed house.
Open.
Open sesame. Open wide. Sherlock's inside.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you, too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Ooh. Oh, jeez.
Yes, a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
I've got an idea, buddy. Come here for a minute.
Oh, yes, of course. I quite forgot about that.
Got an idea, but you just gotta hang on for a sec. Okay? Hold on for 1 second. Okay. Okay. I'm just putting my legs up here so I don't hurt myself as much as I am. Okay? You can cut up and go back to sleep. Okay?
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
I better now. Oh.
Would you
Okay.
happen to
Yeah,
know
so
why
you
part
can
of the
cut.
colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University.
Biology.
I
No.
attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is
Hello.
a great honor.
Hello. Oh. It's alright. It's just somebody online. You're okay.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
Oh.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was
excuse
cleared.
you.
So, someone is lying. It is
Excuse
obvious.
you. Excuse you. Right, let's wander back this way.
Excuse me, but I have to tidy up this room.
Water. Okay, exotic plants. That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need.
Okay, that's really confused. Because they're rare plants.
That is not the one I need.
Oh, obviously that one.
Here it is.
Divine. Something about divine.
That is not the one I need.
Divine Syndicate. I guess it's art instead. Oh. It's okay. It's okay. It's just my phone.
That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need.
Poisons and toxins, wounds and injuries. Oh, there we go.
Here it is.
The Divine Syndicate.
The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
Club follows King God terrain suited in Fort Gilder Street, Cotton Road, protectors of plants, and more particular trees are currently in the subject of the administration investigation. Are subject to financial. Okay.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out
I'm
what they
sorry,
have
just
against
hurt
Montague
anybody.
Dunn.
Mama's in pain. That really hurt my arm. Nap time, is it? It's cuddle time, is it? Is it cuddle time? Is it cuddle time? Is it cuddle time? Yes, silly pup. Okay. Ah, thank you. So who, what, where, when, and why, Miss Sherlock? Okay, because I've been catching up, we have we're doing this story here. We have, this is the new owner of this garden area, and these are his two apprentices. This guy's father died 2 days before the case started. We found out that he didn't die of a heart attack, it was actually a murder. So now I'm trying to find out who killed the guy. I think it's this guy so far, but I don't have any evidence either way. But now we're gonna get brave. What are you doing, Watson? You're not checking that girl out, are you? I need Toby boy.
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
Pick up Toby boy.
If I go there, Toby will wait for me in the cab.
Oh, I didn't want to go there. The chick did it. Okay. Well, she has access with keys. She's got keys to all the locations. Right. Trying to play games here, buddy. I love you, but I'm trying to entertain people, okay? You know I love you dearly. You know I love you dearly. You know I do. Yeah. He like looks away, looks at me, looks away, looks at me. He's like, he's waiting for something to happen. Let's get you a blankie. Okay? I'll be right back, everybody. Go get any toys. Oh. Hey, boy, here he is. Here he is. What's this? Oh, gosh. Yep. Bring blankie. There you go. Yeah. Take a bit. There you go. Okay. He's in bed. He feels blanky. Let's hope he chills for a
Let
bit
us
while I
take
finish this
Toby
game.
to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance.
Yeah, Toby. Go, Toby, go.
Search, Toby. Search.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. Where am I going? Ooh.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
Yes, my dog does the same thing. He has a security blanket. Ah, trying to hide the bottle of poison.
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
He's currently doing that paw thing where he's chewing on it and pouring at the blanket. He's very cute. Alright, so with that new information, what do I need to do? Analysis on that. Talk to someone about that. And find a use for that. Okay. But why would you do it? He was giving her money. Dunn paid for her tuition to school.
Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
Oh, the cloakroom.
That does
sorry.
not matter. We will open
Oh.
it.
Yeah, I've heard that as a line in a movie as well. It's like, well, it's all good and well, but she had the most to financially gain from this plot, I believe. Oh, this is annoying. Oh, come on, really? Gotta be that one. Gotta be that. I'm so confused. No, so then that piece would have to go there. That piece would have to go there. That piece would have to go there. No, no, there. That piece would have to go there. But then it has to go there, then that doesn't go there. I am so confused. Nope. Oh, I'm so confused. What's that green piece? That. No. Oh, come on, it's so close. Oh, hello. Woo!
Open.
That was way harder than it should have been.
Albert's locker. Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction.
Ugh, Ginos.
Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea.
Well, that's great. He should do that. Refusal
A
letter.
rejection letter from the British Royal Naval
Aw.
College.
Poor buddy. Ooh.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Perhaps it was a father-son love triangle.
Martin
Ooh.
Hamish's locker. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Dear General Secretary, recent events on following. Would you mind question for the management position? I've started already. We saw that.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
Who's the kid?
Father and I. Kew Gardens. Miss White's locker. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Proving more expensive than I expected. I fear, therefore, I may not manage it a long time. I know there will be hard. Oh, that's bad. Failure to use lack of money, Margaret. Oof, girl. This girl is just wants cash upon cash. Let me guess. It's full of gold. Ta-da!
These jewels must be worth a small fortune.
She doesn't need the money. She's just a prick. I know your financial troubles are overwhelming you at this present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor. Accept my help. Ooh, your devoted servant, Albert. That's the son. That's so weird.
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Yeah, of course it is. Look at the gems on the side of it. Monk, how do you think you asked for us for money after all these years passed since you left and without any thought of us? Never share with us any details of success at the university, but you choose to do so now. We suppose you must be ashamed of us as we are not from a same height class as your new friends. Modest people who should learn to put your family first as we harm. Always done, and none of us have ever compromised their reputation. Peers you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed. Your parents. Oh! Props to her parents. Damn. No.
A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert.
Okay.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
Experiments. Look at this photograph.
Phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Oh.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything.
Can't do anything with them.
I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything.
There we go.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
What do we do next, Watson? Have a little chit chat to a few people. That's what we do, Watson.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
Boom!
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
Busted!
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that.
Dun, dun,
They expanded
dun.
Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work. But Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Well, damn.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you, Mr.
Whatever
Hamish.
you say.
We shall continue.
You're lying. Why you always lying? Oh my god. We're gonna up and away to... So now the plot thickens because now there's a love triangle between the son and the father and Miss White. But Miss White's got more than enough cash in her pocket to do anything she wants. So like, the fuck?
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
Lie. I found the Albert's hopes, I guess.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, buddy. Poor
Tell me,
thing.
have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man.
Everything's got one-sided so far. There's no connections to anything. So frustrating. Lucky, do you mind? Just a second, guys. Hey! Out of it! Alrighty. Let's head back, talk to Miss White for a hot minute. And then we'll see what's up with her. What's up, what's up, what's up, girl? How you doing, girl? How'd you do it, girl? What'd you do, girl? Hello.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Ah, bullshit. You started it, you little bitch.
Thank you, miss.
You are the Divine Syndicate, you little tosspot. What an absolute liar. Alright. Can I go analysis that? Let's go back and do the analysis at Toby home. And then we'll have a look elsewhere, shall we? Oh, Toby home. Control. Rock and roll. Sweetest taste I know. Come on, sugar daddy, bring it home. So, I put into YouTube Sugar Daddy to bring up the song by Neil Patrick Harris, right? Because it's a great song. There's now ads on YouTube for Seeking Arrangement, the official Sugar Daddy site. Or Me to Sugar for sugar babies and sugar daddies. There's 3 ads before I even got to videos. Since when is that a thing? Look at it. 3 ads before I even look at the videos. I just searched Sugar Daddy in the YouTube app. Like, the fuck? I was looking for the song, not this fucking dipshits. This is what I was looking for.
Here's Tony nominee Neil Patrick Harris and Tony winner Lena Hall and the company of Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Let us determine just as we are found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis.
Sweet tooth, for liquid drops and jelly rolls.
Hey, sugar
Daddy, I still need some sugar and bowl.
A colorless, water-based liquid.
polish up the chrome.
Need some sugar for me. Sugar daddy, bring
Quite a
it
strong
home.
floral aroma.
No! Don't fucking, what's it called? Buffer now.
Holmes?
No!
What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
Why
Is it
would Holmes
poisonous?
just poison
Did
himself?
you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, There is a doctor nearby.
So, what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens.
Ooh, what is that?
Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Nope.
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a...
Open this thing or something. Bloop. Tis red.
Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This
But
mixture
what'd it do?
is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Well, yeah, we knew that part, but like, is it what poisoned him? Sweetest taste I know. Yeah. Come on, sugar daddy, bring it home. Some sugar for me. Sugar daddy, bring it home. I'll console it. Rock and roll. It's the sweetest taste I know.
Just be careful with the plants during your inspection.
This is so sketchy.
Something crossed my mind, and I was thinking you look so fine in a velvet dress with heels and an ermine stone. Luther, darling, heaven knows I've never put on women's clothes, except for once my mother's camisole.
If you got some sugar for me, sugar daddy, bring it home. Come on, sugar daddy, bring it home.
Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
Wow. Love it. Great, 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 great casting. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
I am exalting the sun. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance. Do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcomed you are. To introduce myself, I am the
Your name
Green
Yoda?
Grand Mystic.
Welcome,
The-
you are. You
The
said press that
Green
shall.
Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
Okay, Yoda.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say the divine syndicate. Glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are
Spermatophize
permitted
your soul,
to physically
everybody.
enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom.
Vegetable
And
kingdom.
to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
We visited Kew Gardens, and we found your symbols on their flower pots.
Coincidence, I am thinking. They would scavenge our refuse. It would not surprise me.
It was merely an observation.
Alrighty.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
You.
Our God King's name is Trewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh, la. Good, good. I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Acid burn. Interesting. Very interesting.
Well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Very interesting. Okie dokie. berries. Ooh. It's a pot piece. Broken pieces. Something's hidden. The sacrilege.
The Kew Gardens symbol.
The sacrilege.
A fragment of a flower pot. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
It's over there. How could they? Oh. Sorry guys, one second. Hello, Mr. Sarah. Sorry guys. That was the cops. I had to answer that one. Hope it's right, Alice. B. Yeah, it is right. Let me just well, actually, you weren't here before. There actually was a robbery at my work yesterday, about lunchtime, and my coworker and I ran to the front door to try and, you know, not catch him, but like at least get a facial picture so we knew who they were, right? Happenstance that two undercover detectives were driving past at the time, saw myself and my boss, did a U-turn, and got them. And one's pleaded guilty, one will plead guilty tomorrow. But that means they got him, we got the stock back, and it was all good. Obviously just a follow-up question, but that's okay. That's why I gave my statement, my name, and my number. They've got it all there. And so there you go. Back to the game we shall. There's no... Oh. Can I hit it? Ha! Fun. Interesting. I hear a dog. Hello, good sir. Can I?
You came to make a donation? Glory to Triwan!
True one.
That
Drugs
should be
table.
the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic spoke of.
That's straight cocaine, my guy.
is rather delicious and of an excellent quality.
My word, Holmes. Their sap is like a form of cocaine.
Drugs table. Their sap is cocaine. The fuck? Can I
This
examine you?
must be Triwan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
Tree one. Okay. Ooh.
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them.
Yoink. I'ma steal your shit. I'ma steal their shit. These are the plants.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest.
Okay.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant.
No, Sherlocky boy. But I have to do it in case something is of interest. The flower cage.
These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
Yoink. Mine.
A tropical plant. A tropical.
Cool. I'm glad they're tropical plants. My god. No. No. Okay. Now you're grown up when you are like sliding stands on plants. I know, right? I today bought a
This door is locked. But
an
I can try to open it.
exercise machine, and I'm like, I have to like make sure it's perfectly aligned with my couches and everything, so it's like all nice and neat. It's like I'm such not a person who's like neat and tidy like that. Oh, not one of these things again. Oh my god, this is so not what I had planned. No. Hey, I'm good at these puzzles. I'm good at putting the lines together.
These instruments are used for smoking opium.
I'm such a big fan of also like tidiness and cleanness that shelves bring. Like the one behind me, which you guys can't see, is so like neatly done. All my DVDs and book collections and stuff.
That would be enough
so
to
happy with
perform
it.
the most difficult of
Like,
chemical experiments.
Just for a bit of laugh. It's just woo. And look at that. It's beautiful. And like it's so neatly done. The Gossip Girl pops are at the top with crowns on them. Like it's so neat. I love it. But yeah. But you can't see it because it's behind that.
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens.
Dun,
Perfect, Watson.
dun,
We can begin our experiment.
dun.
This cabinet.
Yeah, I know, right? Adulting. But, like, it's so pretty. I love it. Took me a long time to get it sorted. Like, I built those bookcases from, like, a furniture, like, flat pack box. And, like, I built them myself. I put it all together. I was so proud of myself. It's great. And then I filled in all my stuff and got it all set up. It's still missing a few key pieces, but I'm waiting for it. In due time, we'll finish the pieces that are missing.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Yeah, Matt.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Oh, yeah.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search. Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I
Dump.
said. He borrowed
The director,
from us
Dump.
3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, we will leave you to your...
The eye for an eye concept. Always a real winner. Oh, that. Ooh, I have a question now. Sex stole everything, or partial theft. They stole all plants from the exhibit, including the deadly species. All but the deadly species in the exhibit. Curiouser and curiouser, he says. Let us make a... What if I clicked that? What happens? Nothing. Okay. Still nothing's connecting yet. It's all together but did not connect.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Nope.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
One opens up. Ooh.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
This bad boy. Oh!
It closed
Hey!
again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
Alright, so we're gonna... That you... That you...
It appears to
I
open
know,
after being
I know.
soaked with alkaloid.
I know.
This
Stop,
plant-
stop talking! Oh, we're out of time. I need this one to calm its tits. Because then we can go bang, 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 bang. Oh no, come on! No. Didn't work.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder
did.
what secret...
But I don't know what else to use. Oh, can I stab it?
No reaction.
No. Alkaloid. Blah.
It appeared...
Stabbing with a pen.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this...
I'm trying, but that thing eats every time I... Oh. I can do that. Fuck. I can eat it and put it down there.
It appeared... This plant seems to have had no reaction from the caterpillars.
Ooh. Hey!
Toxic gas with spores.
Extraordinary. We just get to attack each other.
The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
No. They weren't left there though. They were taken. I'm more curious about this case, but like, it's taking longer than the others. We're almost at 2 hours so far.
Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork.
Paperwork. you
Suddenly,
say.
I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Done.
Thank you,
done,
Mr. Hamish. We shall
done.
continue our investigation.
Yo, buddy.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious. Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did
Poor
you
buddy.
see your father that day?
Poor buddy.
Yes, he came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit.
Poor
There was nothing
buddy.
unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh my God.
Oh, buddy.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you
Poor,
again
poor
soon.
soul. I can't. I feel like I'm missing something because there's a piece of a statue I have, which I don't.
These trees, with their roots in water, must originate from Louisiana.
I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know where it is. I got a piece of like a statue or something, but I don't know where the statue is.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him?
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house.
I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Oh, damn.
Thank you, miss.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Alrighty. Escaping the room. Oh. Ooh. Oh, the statues are missing.
No, it wasn't like that.
No, I know it wasn't. It's gonna be inhaling the spores, escaping the room. And that's the statues that's missing. He stumbled in, scuffing his feet on the floor. Shouldered it out because he couldn't get the door open. Grabbed the pot and dropped dead.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores
From
to activate.
the thing at the roof.
Panting, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
I didn't know the bus though, I couldn't find it. Like, it's not there. Maybe it's an office I overlooked, or... Ooh. I'm gonna do the offices first quickly. See if there's a clue I overlooked with the bust, because I didn't know it was there. It explained the piece I'm missing. Well, the missing piece I've got, but I don't remember a bust being anywhere. Not like a busted bust. Here we go.
Here
which one?
it is. Cylinder Records.
Oh.
These plants, classified as shrubs or grasses, have adapted to their arid environment due to a system of underground roots.
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
No, I would have said it wasn't here. I think it would have been here. There's busts up there, but not a busted one. Oh, yeah. No. Okay.
Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste. French wine. A remarkable vintage.
Yes. Maybe it's in the reserve. I didn't really look much into that, did I? Don't know. Oh well, I tried. That's what's in here. Because I looked like nothing in here.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Interesting.
We need to visit the Colonial Collection.
Ah, there it is. The busted bust. So Mr. Donnelly's head caved in. Yikes.
I am curious if the marble that we found will fit this place. Here it is.
Yep.
The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common. It is a bust of Montague Dunn.
That give us anything else. Ooh, another one. Sweet. Ooh. But we definitely could learn how the plants must release their deadly spores. Albert is about to acknowledge to stimulate. No, he doesn't know anything. He's got no fucking clue. This way. I'm sure he knows some stuff, but doesn't know everything.
First of all, I need to visit the Colonial Collection Room to see how those caterpillars dropped onto the deadly plants.
Go down. This way.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Drafter.
These windows were perfectly cleaned.
So much running in this place. If I didn't already know where it was, I guess that would be a clue. But I already know exactly where I'm going. I'm gonna do it, just bang.
Before starting the engine, I need to enable the power.
Okay.
The power is on. The engine has started. The ventilation system is working.
Watson! Are you covered in caterpillars? Watson! I'm coming for you. I'll save you. Blah. Huh.
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Okay. Blah 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 blah. Ooh. Blah 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 blah. I can't see this anywhere. Nope. It's activated here, I think, but that's it. Blah 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 da. Like it nearly exist. Like it nearly exist. Take what's out here, right? Interesting. Where were you staying? Oh, come on. Where were you? Out of curiosity, let us go in here. Because you can see the... I'm just wondering, like... Ah.
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
And you can trigger it from right here.
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
Where's the other one? Oh, it's gonna be the seed room, isn't it? It's gonna be both of them. I'm gonna follow it this way. Into here. Into here. Oh! What do you know?
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room.
I can't see it from here. But I can definitely do that.
Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
Watson screaming his face off?
It works perfectly. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Good idea, Watsy boy.
Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
So, blast use with deadly precision. What's this? Martin Hamish could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the divine genetics plants and simulate them from his workplace directly after he had locked them down in the collection room. Okay. What did you do?
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
At the end of the story, I'm so confused. Because it would have had to been two of them. To do the fanny things.
Locked.
Hey, babe.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you. Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Oh my god!
Holmes, my God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
The fuck?
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Life has become a living hell. I have found it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seem to always fall victim to our circumstances, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so here and now. Farewell. Ugh! Yikes, yikes.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
What's a club foot got to do about it? What? The guy cut himself. I mean, hung himself, sorry. To the triple tries his club foot, therefore we should find out if he has sufficient time to lock the door. Confident competence. Fucking course he did. Jesus Christ.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have
You're a
another
bad
idea,
cop.
Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our timeline.
Let
What?
us analyze the facts
Oh,
and statements
Jesus.
so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Went to meet Albert in the Seed House about 9:30. So... Oh my god. Martin, Hamish and Montague Don went to meet Albert in the Seed House about 9:30. Who was that from, though? You. 9:30. No, there. It was about around 20 minutes to 10 when Hamish and Montague went to the backyard. No. 20 minutes to 10 is there. For 10 minutes, Dunn recommended his in the dry tropics room. Hamish returned to the Seed House. So you went to the dry tropics room at 10 to 10, and you returned to the Seed House at 10 to 10. Okay. And with Miss White at 10 o'clock. Miss White was in the laboratory until 10:40. So you were at 10 o'clock. And then 10:40, then she saw Hamish and Albert in the Waterloo. She saw Albert and Waterloo join them. So that was at 10:40. So what's in between here? Hamish ran to Albert as soon as he observed the Montague Dunn was unwell, which was about 10:30. So you know. Ten past 10. So there. Albert ran to, which was about 10:30. So there. Yes? But what happened at
Let us
20?
summarize.
Yeah.
Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed,
It's the girl. It's Miss White.
Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time.
But
Miss
his daddy
White
wouldn't.
was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time.
The son
Perfect,
wouldn't kill his
Watson.
own dad,
Now,
though.
Let
would
us
he?
ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Damn it, I'm gonna do that. Okay. Martin, Hamish, and Albert are not accomplices. It's likely that Albert would have the opportunity, and 10 minutes would have been not enough time to lock the door. Room. Albert was Montague's accomplice. 10 minutes would be more than enough time for him to follow Montague Dunn and lock the door in order to... No. Not enough time. Whereas White had 20 minutes. She had time. He had everything up their sleeve. But what's all this shit up here? His motive. He didn't have any. What happens then? Yeah. It's gotta be that way. But would she kill if she's on his wealth? Oh, but she's gonna get fired. She had no choice. And she's got the experience to do it. But you could tell him how to do it and set it up for him to do it. It's gotta be. Hell no. Alright, did I fail? Did I win? Let's see. I feel like I won. I got this one in the bag. I've got this one in the bag.
How can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining. The deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
What? Grab it! Do something! What?
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
Get it, Watson! No! Fuck. Woo!
This is tragic, Holmes.
Whoopsie.
Are you able to do anything?
I'm afraid not. The poison has been fulgurating. Her heart stopped instantly, poor child.
I got it right! I solved the case on the first try! I mean, she died, but like... Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying out an elaborate murder. When she realizes she is unable to make any further monetary gain from what she had done, she demands her affection to her son. She was the one who locked the door of the culinary room directly after Hamish released the caterpillars and pushed Martin. Hamish to suicide only to cover herself. She got what she deserved. Oof. Well, damn. That's severe, Judge. Yeah, just a bit. Well, damn. Alright, there we go. I got it on the first try. It only took me 5 cases to do so. Not like it took me for fucking ever to do, but that's okay. We tried. We tried. It happens. Who's on that we can scare? We're gonna pick... Don't know. This one. I'm gonna go red mirror. Oh, what did I push? I pushed a button. What did I push? I don't know what I pushed. Well, I'm gonna call the end of the stream there. That was fun. Finally got one right, which I'm really happy about. That's taken me 4 entire cases to get one right. And it was pretty obvious, so I can't blame that one. Anyway, I'm going to head off, but have a good afternoon, and I'll see you all in the next stream tomorrow when we finish this game completely. It's almost done. We're almost done. Alrighty, have a good one. Bye.